My name is Teddy. I was greatly impacted by reading the book Shut the Hell Up. I wasn't sure what to think. I thought it was an interesting title for a book. Um, I it made me curious as to find out what was in the book. And, after further thinking about the title, I thought that it was going to speak to the hell that is in all of our lives and how to combat that and quiet that down. I think initially what surprised me was the amount of personal anecdotes and stories that were in the book that made the book very relatable. Um, just the examples that were clearly stated in the book. Again, all of it I found very practical and very relatable to the circumstances and things I was facing in my life, but no one had ever really encapsulated it in that format before for me to read, making it easy to digest. One of the things that really stuck with me is how God communicates with us and how he speaks to us through foresight, hindsight, through other people, through scripture. Several ways that God is communicating back to us. He's a living God and is always speaking to us, but we're not always in tune to hear exactly what he's saying. So that has been very impactful for me moving forward and always taking time to quiet the noise to listen to what God is really saying. I think everyone should read this book, honestly. I think that there are many people who are searching for answers the way that I was. People are questioning if God is a living, breathing, speaking God. I think they should read the book, and I think that it will be revelation, to them. And there's also a book that's so well written that you can take that information and pass it on and bless somebody else. So I think that it would appeal to a wide range of audiences, people who are Christian and even people who are searching and have questions about Christianity or relationship with God. I think they would find it very helpful. Absolutely. The way that it's written in the different sections, I think it would actually bode very well for like a study, like a Bible study, book reading. It doesn't, although there's a lot of information in the book, it doesn't read like a textbook. It reads like, someone's actually speaking to your heart. So I think that it would be an excellent book to do a Bible study on. One of the sections that stuck with me was about changing your viewpoint. I think the analogy that was used was a skydiver sees the world different from that high view, and it went on to talk about drawing a line in the sand and to make high-level decisions that are going to actually impact your life moving forward. And so that section of the book is one that really stuck out to me. I think it's an essential book because it actually takes a look at your relationship with God on a deeper level. I'm trying to think of the exact words that you've described someone as being a Christian and believe, but don't actually have a relationship with God. So I think this goes deeper into your actual relationship with God. Some people go to church all the time and they're churched, but they're not actually having a relationship with God where they feel like God never speaks to me. I don't see anything miraculous happening in my life. So I think it will take even Christians allow themselves to have some introspective looks and some honest self-assessment on their own relationship with God and give them opportunities to further that relationship and cultivate a relationship if they don't really have one. I think that there were several moments in the book that opened up for honest self-assessment and questioned my own relationship with God. Do I have a relationship with God? Because in all honesty, I was one of those people who thought that it was a one-way relationship where I would speak to God and, like a genie, and, perhaps he'll grant my wish if I did the right things. But it challenged me to really, again, I had mentioned it earlier about how God speaks to us. It really challenged me to quiet the prevailing voice in my head, and to really listen to what God was saying. And once I did, I was so excited. I think I called you and said, "Hey, God spoke to me." Like, it was, a phenomenal thing for me. And I think what opened the doors was actually going through the study and reading the book. I don't think that's an overstatement at all. I think that if you honestly read the book and honestly are opened to see what it's saying, there's no way it can't transform your life. It would be impossible. You won't. I don't feel like you would be the same person before reading the book and after reading the book. You can't unsee what you've seen, and so I think absolutely you would be transformed. I really feel like you should get a copy of this book and several copies of this book because, like I mentioned before, it's life transforming. It's not a book that you can pick up and use it as necessarily as a textbook, but actually the book speaks to you, and that's God speaking to you through the book, through the words on the page. They literally leap off the page as you're reading them. So I can't overstate it enough that it's a life transforming book. And again, reading the book, you can't deny that it's the voice of God that's actually leaping off the page. So I would highly recommend reserving a copy and reserving and getting copies for people that you care about, or even people that you are interacting with, to get a chance to taste what the book is all about.